Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy, TheMadKaiger. That's right guys, you're getting two videos today. I did say I was going to do a review, well my thoughts more so. I don't really review games in depth really. I just talk about my experiences with them. And I've just this minute finished The Order 1886. And I've got to say, I actually enjoyed this game more than I thought I would. I heard some mixed reviews about this game, and some people like it, some people don't. Now, this game was made by Santa Monica Studios, I believe, yeah, and we all know what they made, God of War. That's right, they made the new God of War game. I'm making myself some food in the microwave because I'm starving. But guys, I've got to say that this was actually a launch title for the PlayStation 4. I believe it was a launch title or an early title, but I'm sure it was a launch title. Now, with launch titles, you've got to bear in mind, if you're trying to sell your system, you've got to try and put more effort into launch titles than, say, a game that you're bringing out late, like a year after your console's been out, especially for a first-party game, an exclusive. You're trying to sell your system, so you want to put a lot of effort into trying, work around making your best console ever, best games you can. Now, I've got to say that this game graphically was absolutely fantastic. I think the graphics in this game were absolutely amazing. And that's no surprise. God of War's graphics were really good as well. I haven't played it myself, but I have watched a playthrough of that game. So the whole story around this game is you're based around these knighthood and there's some sort of conspiracy going on. This game sort of brings in sort of like a steampunk-esque vibe, set in like Victorian London, but it's got that steampunk vibe with like Nikola Tesla sort of style weaponry. You've got that sort of science weaponry and weapons that, giant blimps and stuff like that. And I do like that style to video games, and it's nice to have a video game set in London. This game could have easily been set somewhere else, but they decided to make it set in Great Britain. And I've got to say, the game is very cinematic. This game's basically like a cross between, say, like a Quantic Dream style game where it's all mostly cinematic, and then the gameplay is sort of more like a cover-based shooter. The game has sort of some segments that quick time events and cinematics, cutscenes, and then it goes into like a quick time event. And then you have your gameplay mode, where you've got like stealth missions, parts where you're having to do stealth. You've got your battles and things like that. I enjoyed the cover-based system in this game. The cover actually works quite well. It's no Gears of War, but the cover system isn't broken in this game by any means. What I enjoyed about this game is I enjoyed the weaponry. There's some cool weapons in this game, like the arc lightning rifle is really cool. Some very like Nikola Tesla, a young Nikola Tesla in this game as well, so a familiar face there. And actually the story is really good. I actually enjoyed the story in this game more than I thought I would. Normally with story driven games I don't really microwave. Yeah, normally with story-driven games, with me, if I can have a choice of gameplay or story, I tend to prefer gameplay over story. But this game's more story than I'd say gameplay, but the gameplay isn't bad. I wouldn't say it's the best. It definitely isn't the best gameplay you're going to get. But for what it is, it's not a bad game. It's got some cool sort of supernatural elements to it. There's lycans in the game and senses of vampires as well. So if you're into that sort of thing, definitely sort of reminds me of sort of like like a Call of Cthulhu. I forget the author of that, but that style to it, not C.S. Lewis, it might be C.S. Lewis, I don't know, I forgot his name. But I enjoyed this game more than I thought I would. This is going to be a small video, it's nothing going to be long, guys, so just bear in mind, you've already had a video today, so don't get too cocky. But I enjoyed this game. I think the graphics were really good. The voice acting is pretty decent as well. There's nothing really out of place with it. Like I said, I like the variety of weapons. If there's anything I think that they could improve on, and the game definitely has an ending that leaves it open to a sequel. If there's any suggestions that I'd like to see in a sequel, is possibly perhaps a co-op mode. It would be cool to have a continuation of this. I don't want to give away the ending of the game or the story too much, because it's one that I think you should play yourself. If I think they could do a sequel to this, like I said, it would be cool to get a co-op mode in this, be able to play this with like 2 or 4 players, kind of like Gears of War. A lot of people compared this game to Gears of War. I don't think it's nothing like Gears of War. Just because it's a cover-based shooter, don't mean it's like Gears of War. In some senses it is, but I think this game's a little bit more in the cinematic side of things, to be more unlike Gears of War. Gears of War is a cinematic game, but it has more gameplay to it. There is some, like I said, there's not much replay value apart from the achievements, which is something they can improve on, possibly include a multiplayer or some co-op modes, maybe like a survival mode or something would be really nice to see in a sequel. Whether this game's going to get a sequel, I don't know. The Order 1887, I don't know. It's to be decided, really. I personally don't think we are going to see a sequel to this game anytime soon, but maybe on the PS5, maybe we will see a sequel to this. Other than that, I don't really have too much more to say about this game, other than I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun game. I enjoyed the story. It was well written, actually. It weren't a bad story at all. And like I said, yes, this game is kind of like a quick time event, and then just some cover-based shooters. With the, there's parts where you walk and stuff as well. There's a few stealth parts in the game, which actually I did struggle. Well, I didn't struggle with it. I kept, that was a complaint. With the stealth part, I kept getting seen somehow, but there was no enemy in sight. So sometimes I had that odd, like, ooh. But it's actually a really good game. It's about 7 hours long, so you can complete this in a day if you really want to. Took me about a few days to complete it, because I only played it for about an hour or 2 each day. So glad that I finished this game. Like I said, am I going to go back and play it again on the harder difficulties? No, probably not, because there's no achievement for completing it on a harder difficulty. You only get one achievement for completing the game, and that's a gold. So you could get, it is some trophies, should I say, not achievements. The one thing I will say is there's some nudity in this game, so I wouldn't recommend playing this on YouTube or something like that, unless you can censor it, because there is some nudity. Not a lot, but some nudity. Graphics are great, like I said. Sound is pretty decent, and overall, the Order 1886 is this a system seller? No, I don't think this is a system seller, but it does showcase what the PlayStation 4 was capable of at the time, and still is. And I'm glad that, Santa Monica Studios went on to create, the God of War, which got Game of the Year and stuff like that. The Order 1886, you can pick this game up for less than £10. I'd say it's worth, I think I got it for a £5 actually, so it's definitely worth that much. So if you want something cheap and a fun story, something original, well, I wouldn't say original in terms of gameplay, but original story, something that combines both sort of a Victorian steampunk-esque London with, some supernatural elements to it, or mythological elements to it. Definitely check out the Order 1886. If I was going to give it a rating out of 1 to 10, I'd probably give this game about a 7.5, which is quite high. But like I said, there are some things that could be improved on if they make a sequel. Like I said, some co-op modes and possibly multiplayer. And possibly include try and mix up the gameplay a little bit, and try not to have more, if you're going to make a cinematic game, that's fine, but if you're going to try and, it reminds me a little bit like A Way Out, how that game was quite cinematic, and then it had some parts between it. So I enjoy games like that. I enjoyed this game. I definitely recommend it, and I think this game is pretty fun. So this is just a short video, just giving my opinions on it, just because I knew this wasn't going to be a long video, so it's something I could just do here and there. So 2 videos for you guys. The Order 1886 gets a thumbs up from me. It's worth a playthrough. If you don't want to end up and buying it, borrow it off someone or rent it. You know, I don't know if it was given away for free at one point. I don't know. But nonetheless, guys, I hope you enjoyed this little short opinions on this game. The next game I'm going to be playing is Senran Kagura Estival Versus. I have played a little bit of this game. I know it's a very risque game, but it's nonetheless a game that I'm going to be playing next. I don't know if I'm going to complete it. I'll probably play it for a while before I move on to the next game. But anyway, guys, if you enjoyed today's video, feel free to leave a like and, of course, comment below. Let me know if you've played the Order 1886 and did you enjoy it or not. Give me your opinions. Let me know why. And, of course, feel free to subscribe if you haven't already and check out all the social media links in the description below. I'm going to have something to eat now. And, of course, have a nice day. And I will see you in the next video. Take care and bye-bye.